Hello friends of Sudoku and welcome to a New York Times Hard Sudoku. It's December 8, 2022 and it's about 10 o'clock in the morning. That's the time when the New York Times puzzles are published, at least around where I am right now. I can see an 8 needs to go in this cell because of these two 8s. So the 8 here is pretty obvious, and that puts, of course, an 8 in one of these three cells. The 2 here and the 2 here block these cells. So another digit for one of these three cells is going to be a 2. I know that I do talk a lot to myself when I solve these puzzles, but I can assure you that it's only when I'm recording. When I'm not recording, I don't tend to talk a lot. It's like with speed reading, the less you move your lips when you do something, the more efficient and the more fast you can be done with it. But I always thought it was of use. Some of you hearing my thought processes while I'm solving. There's a 3, 7, and a 9 here, and they need to go here, here, and here. And that means that these three cells need to be a 2, 4, and a 5. And the 4 must go in this cell up here because this 4 blocks these two cells, and a 4 therefore in row 2 and in this box 3 will have to go either here or here. So a 4 here and a ghost 4 here puts a 4 in one of these two cells, and it can't be the one up here because of the one of the 4 down here. So this is a 4, and these two cells now have to be a 2 and a 5. There's 4 here and a 4 here and a 4 here block all of these cells. So a 4 for the bottom row must go here, and that puts the 4, of course, in this cell as well. So as we just discussed, a 2 will have to go in one of these two cells because of the 2 here and the 2 here. So where now can we place a 2 in column 8? That's right, this is where it has to go. And that makes this cell here a 9, doesn't it? Because the 9 here blocks these two cells, and therefore 9 will have to go either here or here. And that leaves only one cell open for a 9 in this column. And now these two cells have to be a 1 and a 6. The 3 and a 7 here will have to go in two of these three cells. I'm making a mental note of an 8 going in one of these two cells because of the 8 here, and therefore in one of these two cells because of this 8 here. This cell also is very restricted because it cannot be a 1, 2, 3, 4. It can be a 5 and a 6, but not a 7, 8, and a 9. So this is a 5 or a 6. It's pretty restricted. I'll keep that in mind. This cell as well is restricted to a 1 and a 7 because all the other digits are already present in this intersection right here. Of course, this cell must be a 6 because of the 6 here and the 6 here blocking these 5 cells. So this is a 6. I've been looking at the 3, 7, and a 9 here, and this cell must be a 9. I will tell you why. Because it can't be a 7, obviously, because of the 7 here. And it cannot be a 3 either, because this 3 blocks these two cells. Therefore, a 3 will have to go in this cell or in this cell. And a ghost 3 here, obviously, blocks this cell from being a 3. Therefore, it must be a 9. And this is now a 3, 7, and this is a 3, 7. And this is, of course, a 3. Well, a possible 3 anyway. So these two cells here have to be a 7 and a 9. And these two have to be a 3 and an 8, except this cell cannot be an 8 because we have this 8 here in the column already. So this is a 3 and this is an 8. And having found the 3 here, we can now combine it with the 3 here and the 3 up here and put a 3 in this cell like so. And this 3 now blocks these 3 cells and this 3 prevents a 3 from going here, therefore it must go in this cell like so. Now the 3 here and the 3 here, and this 3 puts a 3 in this cell. And this must now be a 9 because none of these two cells can be a 9 due to the 9 up here in the corner. So this is a 9. The 9 here and the 9 here puts a 9 in one of these two cells, which, by the way, also could be a 3. So we have a 3-9 pair here now. And that puts a 1 and a 7 in these two cells, and therefore a 1 in this cell like here. And since we remember that these two cells have to be a 3 and a 7, right? We now know that these two have to be a 3 and a 9, therefore a 7 cannot go in this cell here. Ergo, it goes here. And from earlier, we also remember the 3 and a 7 had to go in two of these three cells, right? Now that the 7 has found its place, the 3 up here forces the 3 to go here, and that makes this a 3 and this a 9. Funny enough, I still don't know how to complete this row right here, nor can I at this time figure out which numbers go here, except this cannot be an 8. Of course, it has to be a 1 or a 6. But there is a 2 because a 2 can't go in this cell, nor can it go in this cell because of this 2, and it cannot go here because of the 2 here. Therefore, this must be a 2, otherwise we wouldn't have a 2 for this column. And now we know that these two cells have to be a 2 and an 8. Remember the 8 up here and the 2 here, and now we have a 2, 8 here, and we have a 2, 8 here. So these two have to be a 2 and an 8. And that makes the remaining three cells here, here, and here 1, 7, and a 9, which I also can't place at this time. But there is a 6 to be put in this cell here because of the 6 here blocking these cells and the 6 here blocking these two cells. This must be a 6. And now a 6 will have to go here or here. And these two cells now have to be a 4 and a 5 remote pair. And a 5 and 8 remote pair will have to go here and here. Of course, these two cells must be a 1 and a 6, making these two a 4 and a 5. And remember how these two cells had to be a 2 and a 5? Now with the ghost 5 over here, this cannot be a 5, therefore it must be a 2, and this is now a 5. And the 2 here and here and here force a 2 into this cell like so. And the other cell, remember, must be an 8. That's right, putting an 8 in this cell. Now these have to be a 1 and a 6. A 9 can't go in this cell here because of this 9, and a 9 can't go here because of this 9. So a 9 will have to go here, and that resolves the 9, 7 we had here, because now this 9 and this 9 forces a 9 in this cell, doesn't it? We have a 9 over here, see? So this is now a 9. And the 9 here and the 9 here force a 9 in this cell. And the last cell here in the center is going to be a 7. And that ought to crack this puzzle, I think. So let's see. A 5 can't go here because of this 5. A 5 can't go here because of this 5. And the 5 can't go here because of this 5. So this is a 5. And that puts a 5 in this cell, doesn't it? And resolves the 5 and the 4 pair we had up here. And this is now a 4. Oh, this is good. This is very nice. The 4 here and here and here puts a 4 up here. And let's see, these now have to be a 2 and an 8. The 8 here forces an 8 into this cell and the 2 therefore here, making this a 2 and this a 2. Very nice. This cell now got to be a 6, making this a 6 and this a 1. And this, of course, must be an 8. These 3 cells now have to be a 1, 5, and a 7. One of these will have to be a 1, so this cannot be a 1. Let it stew for a while. This one here must be a 1, and therefore this is a 6. And this now is a 1, putting a 1 in this cell. These two now have to be a 5 and a 7. There's a 7 up here that puts a 5 in this cell and the 7 here. That finally gives me the 7 and the 1 for these two cells. This is now a 1 and this is a 7, putting a 5 here. Now for the last 3 cells, we need to find a 5, 6, and a 7. There's a 5 and a 6 here, so that's a 7. There's 5 here, so that is a 6. And there's only one cell left, and that's going to be a 5. This was, I would say, an average puzzle of the hard variety of the New York Times. I hope you enjoyed it though, and that you'll be back for more. If you did like this video, would you mind giving it a thumbs up? It's not for me or for my ego. It's to help Google serve this puzzle perhaps to some other viewers who are interested in solving Sudokus without using markup notation or pencil marks. And even if you don't, I hope you enjoyed it and that you'll be back for more. Bye for now.